Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here, as always, to cut through the noise and give you what you need to be truly well-informed. Today, we're looking at something fundamental to every organization, managing its people. We're thinking about the relationship between a business and an employee, not just as, hiring someone. It's a complete journey, a whole cycle. And getting that cycle right, that's often key to success.
It really is. I think sometimes businesses see it too simply. Just fill a vacancy, pay a wage. But that misses the huge strategic opportunity in managing that entire relationship arc, really actively managing it. And we call that arc the employment cycle. It covers everything, literally from the moment a business thinks, we need someone for this, right through until that person eventually leaves.
Okay, so our mission today is pretty straightforward then. We want to unpack this whole journey, fast but thoroughly, give you a really solid grasp of what strategic people management involves.
And we're going to break it down into three main phases. Think of it like acts in a play. First, there's the establishment phase, that's laying all the groundwork. Then comes the long middle act, the maintenance phase. That's where the work gets done, where people develop. And finally, the termination phase, because, well, everyone leaves eventually.
Right. Makes sense. So let's dive straight into that groundwork, establishment. This isn't just about finding someone. It starts earlier with planning, right? Defining the actual need.
Exactly. Planning asks those basic but critical questions like, are we expanding? Do we need more people doing what we already do? Or is it something new? A new project, a new direction, needing skills we don't currently have in-house. Once you've sort of pinned down that need, then you move into job analysis.
Job analysis. This sounds specific. Getting the details right here must be important.
Crucial. It leads to two key documents. First up is the job description.
Okay, so that's the what?
Yeah.
The duties, the tasks, the responsibilities, what the person actually does.
Precisely. And you'd be surprised how often this goes wrong. A vague description. It causes problems right down the line.
I can imagine. And the second document.
That's the job specification. Think of it as the who. It details the necessary qualifications, the specific skills, the experience level needed to actually do the job described.
So one's the role, the other's the person needed for the role.
Exactly. And the tricky part here can be specifying those, softer skills. It's easy to list needs a degree in X, but how do you properly specify must be a great team player? That's harder.
Yeah, good point. Okay, so you've got your spec. That leads naturally into recruitment, doesn't it? Attracting people.
It does. And here's the first big fork in the road. Do you look inside the company or outside?
Internal versus external recruitment.
Right. Internal, promoting someone, transferring them, it's often quicker, and it can be brilliant for morale. Shows people there's a path forward. But sometimes you genuinely need fresh blood. New ideas, different expertise, maybe skills that just aren't available internally. That's when you go external. Using ads, maybe recruitment agencies, tapping into networks, even word of mouth.
So you cast the net, you get applicants, then comes a filtering process, selection. Choosing the best person.
Yeah, the winnowing down. And organizations use a whole toolkit here.
Like detailed application forms, obviously, interviews.
Multiple interviews sometimes. Reference checks are standard.
And testing comes in here too, right? Our sources mention different kinds.
They do. It's not just about can they do the job now, but also potential. So you see aptitude testing, how quickly can they learn?
Interesting. And psychological testing.
Sometimes, yeah. Trying to gauge personality fit. Does this person align with our culture? Can they handle the pressures of this specific role? It's all data gathering.
To rank the candidates and ultimately make an offer.
Exactly.
And that offer leads to nailing down the formal bits, employment arrangements and remuneration. Pay, basically.
Right. First, the type of arrangement. Is it ongoing, permanent employment? Or maybe casual for flexibility? Or a fixed-term contract for a specific project duration.
Lots of options there. And then the money remuneration.
Let's just call it pay structure, yeah. In many places, there's a legal floor set by industry awards. Minimum pay rates, basic conditions.
So smart companies don't just stick to the minimum, do they?
Often not, no. They might choose to pay significantly above the award rate to attract better talent. And they often build in extra financial incentives too, things like bonuses, maybe profit sharing, rewards tied to hitting specific targets. It's about aligning the employee's goals with the business's goals.
So getting all that establishment phase, right, from defining the job to the contract and pay it, really sets the stage for everything else.
Absolutely. If you mess up the hiring, you're potentially facing years of trying to fix performance issues. It's costly.
Which leads us perfectly into that long middle section,
Yeah.
the maintenance phase. This is where the employee is actually working, contributing, the core relationship period. It's about investment, development.
And it kicks off immediately with induction.
Induction, right. That's the onboarding process. But it's quite a short window, isn't it?
It is. Starts day one, usually wrapped up within the first few days. But don't underestimate its importance. If that initial experience is confusing or unwelcoming, well, that person might start looking elsewhere pretty quickly. It's a big retention factor.
And it's more than just showing them the coffee machine, I assume.
Oh, much more. Good induction covers the company's background, its history, its main goals, the culture, how things really work around here, plus the practical stuff, policies, procedures, safety, and critically, if they're joining a team.
Integrating them.
Exactly. Getting them connected with colleagues, maybe assigning a buddy or a mentor from the existing team, making them feel part of it from the get-go.
Okay, induction sets the scene. But maintenance is much longer than a few days. What else is key?
Training and development, continuous investment. And let's be clear, training isn't just for newbies. It's vital throughout the entire employment cycle.
How so?
Well, think about it. Maybe the business brings in new software or changes a key process, or an employee gets promoted and their duties change.
They need retraining or upskilling.
Precisely. Ongoing training is essential for keeping skills sharp and relevant. Our sources mentioned ALDI, for example.
The supermarket chain.
Yeah. Apparently, they really pride themselves on providing thorough, continuous training. They see it as an investment, not just a cost. Helps with consistency, efficiency.
Makes sense. That investment in skills then feeds into managing how well people are actually doing their jobs, right? Performance management.
Yes, performance management. And again, this isn't just about the old school annual appraisal where you get a grade.
Yeah.
Modern performance management is more of a continuous process, monitoring how things are going over time.
With the aim of
Improving productivity, basically, making sure the employee's work is contributing effectively to the business's overall objectives.
and I guess it connects to keeping people motivated too.
Absolutely. Good performance management involves feedback, coaching. It helps people understand how their work fits into the bigger picture. When employees see that connection, see how they can improve and contribute more, it's a powerful motivator. It's less about judging, more about developing.
So maintenance is this ongoing loop. Induction, training, development, performance feedback, all aimed at getting the best out of people and keeping them engaged.
That's a good way to put it, maximizing value for both sides. But, as we said, every employment relationship eventually ends.
Which brings us to the final phase. Termination. Managing the end of the road. This is about handling entitlements properly and making the transition as smooth as possible, whatever the reason for leaving.
And the reasons matter a lot in how it's managed. We can split it into two broad types. First, there's voluntary termination. That's the employee's choice. They might retire or they resign, maybe to take another job.
So the company's role there is more about administration,
Yeah,
ensuring a smooth handover, final pay, that sort of thing.
pretty much. Professional offboarding, ending the relationship on good terms, hopefully.
But the tougher one is involuntary termination, where the employee isn't choosing to leave.
Right. And the sources highlight two main drivers for this. The first is redundancy. This is crucial. Redundancy is about the job disappearing, not the person's performance.
Okay. Why would a job disappear?
Could be technology automating the task, or the company restructures, maybe after a merger, and the role just isn't needed anymore. It's position-based.
Got it. And the second cause of involuntary termination.
That's dismissal. This is about the employee usually due to ongoing, documented poor performance despite warnings, or perhaps serious misconduct.
So very different reasons, but in both cases, the company has obligations.
Absolutely. Managing entitlement and transition issues is critical. You have to get the final pay right.
Calculating things like unused annual leave or maybe long service leave payouts.
Exactly. And this is where good record keeping during the maintenance phase becomes so important. You need accurate data to calculate those final entitlements correctly. Mistakes here can lead to legal trouble.
Makes sense. And beyond the money, what about supporting the person, especially if it's involuntary?
Yes, transition support, particularly with redundancy, it's considered good practice and good for the company's reputation to offer support. This could range from counseling to help them deal with the change to practical help finding a new job, sometimes called outplacement services.
So managing that final stage with care and professionalism is just as important as the beginning.
It really is. And you see the connections, right? How well termination goes often depends on how clearly the contract was set up back in establishment.
And how well performance or issues were documented during maintenance.
Exactly. It's all linked. It's a true cycle.
It definitely highlights that managing people strategically is complex, much more than just filling jobs. Hopefully, this quick tour gives you, our listener, a solid framework for understanding that whole arc.
And tying it back to that idea of strategic investment. We talked about the maintenance phase being about boosting productivity through training, development, performance management.
Building capabilities.
So here's something to maybe chew on after this deep dive. A final thought.
Okay, let's hear it.
If a business really invests heavily in top-notch performance management and development during that maintenance phase, genuinely upskilling its workforce, making operations super efficient, does that intense effort actually reduce the pain or even the likelihood of future involuntary terminations?
Oh, so?
Well, could it reduce dismissals because performance issues are caught and fixed earlier? Or could it even delay redundancies caused by tech changes because a highly skilled workforce is maybe more adaptable to new ways of working?
Interesting question. Does excellence in the middle phase buffer against the negative outcomes of the final phase? Something to think about.